If you think like a trader, AI shouldn't scare you. It should immediately look like opportunity, because what's happening right now isn't random disruption. It's more like a reallocation of edge. And in a lot of cases, people don't see where it's moving yet. Yes, AI is already replacing some jobs, especially entry-level roles, repetitive cognitive work, low-leverage positions. That part is real, but that's not the interesting part to me. What's more interesting is what's happening above that. For most professionals, AI isn't deleting the human. It's changing where the leverage actually sits. Here's where people get tripped up. They think using AI means they're positioned. And a lot of times it doesn't. That's like thinking watching price action alone means you're trading with edge. Tools don't create edge, structure does. Look around for a second. Everyone's talking about prompts, new models, new tools every week. And yeah, that's fine. But a lot of that is noise. The signal is simpler. AI is turning tasks into commodities and systems into assets. And traders usually recognize that pattern pretty fast. Two positions are forming. The first is the task taker. They execute instructions, they respond to inputs, they work inside someone else's process. When AI gets cheaper and better, and it will, that position gets compressed. The second is the system operator, the person who designs the workflow. They decide when AI acts. They manage risk, judgment, and exceptions. That position doesn't get compressed. It usually gets leveraged. You've seen this before. When trading went electronic, manual execution disappeared. But people who understood structure, order flow, and risk management, they didn't vanish. They scaled. AI is doing something very similar to knowledge work right now. So when people say AI is taking all the jobs, what they're really describing is a shift up the stack. Low leverage roles get wiped. Higher leverage roles absorb more power. That's not a moral statement. That's capital flow. Here's why this should matter to you. If you trade or invest, you already understand this intuitively. Edge comes from positioning, timing, structure, and asymmetry. AI is creating new asymmetries, but mostly for people who move from doing work to orchestrating systems. You don't need to build models, you don't need to quit trading, you don't need to become an engineer. What you do need is to think the same way you think in markets. Where is leverage increasing? Where is labor being commoditized? And where does human judgment still matter? That's where you build. For a trader, that might look like AI-assisted research pipelines, automated news and data synthesis, execution review systems, or portfolio monitoring agents. For an investor, it might be understanding which roles scale with AI, spotting businesses redesigning workflows, not just adding tools, and recognizing who actually owns the system layer versus the task layer. Participation doesn't mean switching careers. It usually just means moving up the stack you're already in. AI isn't replacing everyone, but staying in low leverage positions while systems absorb the upside, that's how people get left behind. The people who win this cycle aren't the loudest. They're usually the ones who quietly position themselves where AI multiplies their judgment. If this resonates, we'll keep breaking down where the real edges are forming. This isn't about hype, it's about positioning.